My husband of 19 years doesn't trust me and can't get over me kissing another guy 23 years ago. I met my husband when I was 23. We are now 46, me and 47 him, have been married for 19 years and have 2 children. The circumstances surrounding the commencement of our relationship are complex. I was unfaithful. It happened due to me being in bad place mentally at the time we met. I'm not using this as an excuse. I was in the wrong. I was young and immature and wasn't ready for a committed relationship. I wanted to live the single life after being in long-term relationships since the age of 14, including one that ended very badly. My coping mechanism was denial, and I led a double life for a few weeks in the first few months after we started dating. I flirted with a guy at work and kissed him 3 times. If guys were interested in me, I teased. But other than the kisses I mentioned earlier, I wasn't intimate with anyone except my husband. I was 23. I was stupid. Eventually I came to my senses and came clean. My husband and I had fallen for each other hard and quickly. I wasn't ready for a committed relationship, but I was in love and wanted to make things right. He initially wanted to break up with me. I left the decision up to him. He asked me to cut off all contact with other boys. I did. I even cut off most of my friendships and social circles to demonstrate how sorry I was and to help regain his trust. And since then I have not done a single thing to give him any doubt of my fidelity. I greatly regret my actions and would give anything to repair the hurt I caused my husband. He eventually said that he forgave me and we could move on together. We had a great relationship and married 4 years later. Fast forward 23 years and he still brings up the events of our early relationship whenever we have an argument. He keeps trying to get me to confess that I slept with someone I didn't. Our marriage has disintegrated. We have 2 kids with disabilities, so the focus for a long time has been them. We have no connection and are not in a happy marriage. I now also have early onset Parkinson's disease, so things are hard for me, but I still work and still manage the bulk of the kids' disabilities and the mental load. A year ago at Christmas he blew up at me and said that he wanted a divorce. He said that I was too controlling and he had had enough. The trigger was me staying up late cooking gingerbread cookies and then tidying up the toy room. Parkinson's keeps me awake at night, so I decided to get some chores done. It kept him awake. I didn't realize that it was such a problem. The next morning, as I was rearranging things in a different way than he wanted, he blew up at me. He got completely drunk, ruined family Christmas and made a total mess of himself. The past got brought up again and he wanted revenge. He stole Christmas money that was gifted to me so that he could use it on a prostitute. I stayed calm throughout it all, tried to keep him safe and diffuse the situation despite the hurt I was feeling. He didn't follow through with the prostitute and return the money the next day. The next day once he sobered up and he apologized. He said that he wasn't coping mentally and he didn't mean what he said. I forgave him and supported him. He said he would organize marriage counseling. He hasn't and stayed sober for a year. He saw a counselor at work for himself twice, but didn't follow up ongoing sessions. Now he has started drinking again. He doesn't drink to excess but has a few drinks every night. We haven't been intimate in years and have no connection. We live parallel lives. He has his own hobbies and enjoyment. I manage the kids and their disabilities and try to manage my disability too, but I struggle to find the time due to all my efforts going towards the kids and even him. My disease is so bad that even walking is a challenge. But I push on alone, for my kids. I listen to any problems he has and offer support. I have lots of problems too but don't bring them up. I keep everything inside as I am too afraid to let him in. My home life and my career are in tatters. I am slowly losing everything that once made me me. I was in a bad place late last year and wanted to end things between us. He said he'd arrange counseling. He hasn't, and we talked about what we could do to get back on track. But unless I initiate things, they don't happen. I see a counselor on my own to help me deal with my disability. Myself and the kids have a disability support worker who is single and spends a lot of time supporting our family. On Saturday my husband invited her around to make kombucha together. I told him that I had to take the kids to the pediatrician and wouldn't be home. He still invited her and she came around while I wasn't home. Then I found a text message from her for his birthday, signed with a kiss. She is close to our family, so this may have been an innocent thing. But I was upset and uncomfortable about these 2 things and told him so. He apologized and then brought up what happened 23 years ago. Again. It happens whenever we fight or whenever I bring up an issue. He even went through old photo albums to look for evidence of me cheating on him. He didn't find anything, as there is nothing to find. I feel like I have been the perfect wife and have stuck by him and forgiven him on many occasions. But he has still not forgiven me for something I did 23 years ago. He tells me he loves me, but I don't feel that he does. I think he is staying with me only for the kids and because I do all of the life admin. I pay all of the bills, organize all the medical care for our kids, school admin, calendar, paperwork etc. while holding down a job and dealing with a worsening disability. I'm so exhausted by it all. Can we ever recover from this? If he can't trust me now, will he ever trust me? TLDR, I was unfaithful to my husband when we first met 23 years ago. He still brings it up whenever we argue. If he still can't trust me now, is it worth still staying together? Your husband has used this as a cudgel to beat you for 23 years. I'm not surprised you put up with his abusive and disgusting behavior. You're probably so worn down by 23 years of abuse that your self-esteem is destroyed. You don't deserve this treatment. You apologized, your husband claimed to forgive you. Since then he has done far worse himself, yet still seems to think he operates from some moral high ground. Time to get off the cross. You have atoned for your sin long enough. You seem to think that your husband is allowed to abuse you because you kissed some guy 23 years ago. He's not, and it's time to stop putting up with it. Reach out to a domestic violence helpline as a first step. Emotional abuse is still abuse, and they will be able to listen and direct you to resources in your area.